Hi guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoilery GUSH video for The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. So a lot of you were asking me to do a GUSH video and asking if I was going to do a GUSH video, and yes, of course, but also I'm like, there's stuff to gush about, but there's so many things that I don't know, and like so many twists that I don't know, that it's almost hard to talk about, because I'm just like, oh, this thing, yeah, you know, and also plenty of people have read the second book, and I don't want anybody to accidentally hint to anything about the second book in the comments, so please don't. Like, even if I say something, don't be like, ooh, just wait, wink face. Don't do any of that, please. I went into this pretty blind. Overall, I really didn't know anything about the world or the plot. I just knew people didn't like Quoth and some people loved him. That's it. So please don't say, like, any hints at all in the comments, please. So speaking of Quoth, I really enjoy him as a character. I enjoy seeing him as an adult, and I enjoy seeing him as a kid growing up and everything. Yes, he is overly... he seems like he's overpowered at times, but not really, because you do see how complicated everything is, and he has to be borderline genius to be able to go to the university and do what he's doing. But yeah, of course, like, you see sometimes and you're like, that kid's super smart, and like, is there anything he can get wrong? And obviously you do see that he gets stuff wrong. You do see that his pride gets in the way. You do see that he makes really rash, dumb decisions and ends up really screwing himself over. So I like that he has consequences for his actions. If he never did, then he would be an annoying character to me, but I think that his smarts actually get in his way a lot of times because he thinks he's so clever and he prides himself on being so clever, and then bad things happen to him. So I really enjoy that. And again, like I said in my review, Quoth as an unreliable narrator is such a fun, compelling story point for me. Like, I just really enjoy that. So when you talk, like, you see him talking about, like, how smart he is and how brilliant he is or whatever, you're also like, this is a dude telling a story about himself. Like, so, of course he's going to be building up, like, how clever and smart he is and stuff. But you also just see these moments of vulnerability and tragedy with his family, especially, like, when he told his family story about all them dying, and then he has to, like, take a break as an adult and go outside and cry. I'm just like, stop it! I just love him. And he, like, has these moments of just kind of losing himself, and he's somebody who has built himself a story and a reputation. You see multiple times in the story about him talk about this reputation that he built and how he has become kind of this hero character because people think of him as a hero character and blah blah blah. And he's kind of losing that because people are thinking of him as this innkeeper, so he's kind of losing this fire and just becoming, like, duller and just, like, losing all the things he loves about his life. And that's really interesting too, because it's kind of like, you are what people think you are, but you're also what you think you are. And just all these little concepts that are wrapped up in this to make it just, like, so enjoyable. I do think the part where he was homeless dragged on a little bit longer than I would have liked, but also I understand why that happened, because it's like you had to see how far he'd fallen and how much hardship he'd gone through. So there were times when I'm just like, oh, when is this gonna get better, this poor kid? But it was also like you had to feel that so that when he got to university and he was really, like, trying to climb the ranks and just, like, fight for everything, you understood why he was doing that. Where if he would have went from just being part of the caravan to being at the university, you'd have been like, wow, you're a spoiled brat that doesn't know anything. When, like, he's really had to fight for a lot of things, and he's been alone for a very long time. There's so many things that I don't know and that I can't wait to learn more about, because obviously we have this whole, like, Chandrian thing, and what is that? Don't answer. I don't know. It's like, what's going on with this? Who are these people? What is this? What are these, like, demon creatures that are coming? What does all this mean? You still don't know at the end of this very long book, but I like that and I'm fine with it. Like, he's telling his story, he's getting around to the points, and he's pointing to things, and he's saying, like, there's parts where he's like, oh, that's gonna get me in trouble later, and you're like, when? You know? Like, I like how windy and twisty and turny it is, and I think that a lot of people do get sick of that, especially, I guess, in book 2, and I know book 2 is very long, and it's like 1,000 pages, and I understand. But also, like, I just kind of like how meandering it can be at times, and the pacing of it, and that he says how everything has a point, and he's never going on a tangent. Everything he's saying has a purpose. So I'm really looking forward to just, like, experiencing this. It's just, like, a fun tale with an unreliable narrator, because I love that he's an unreliable narrator. Speaking of, the way he talks about the character Denna, I feel like is a lot of stuff people have problems with at times, and Denna as a character is a character that isn't necessarily well liked or likable at all, and I think that's done very intentionally. And there's something that I like about her, even though she does so many things that make me be like, that's really annoying. But there's something that I like about her, even though she has this kind of, like, not like other girls persona, and, you know, she is that kind of, like, tropey type character. I also think that's just the way that he thinks of her and the way that he talks about her. So she is this unattainable thing that he can't reach, and so he talks about her in a certain way, and he kind of depicts her as this like fantasy manic pixie dream girl kind of thing, right? And that can be very off-putting, but at the same time it's also like, of course she's this way. She kind of has to be this way because she has to be his equal and keeping him on his toes. So of course, and even the way that like other characters will be like, she actually wasn't that pretty, and he's like, of course she was, she's the most stunning thing ever, you know, is so funny and just like a good depiction of somebody, again, telling a story and kind of seeing people in different lights. All the women are depicted with these like rose-colored glasses because these are all the women that he encountered and that he like showed him any kind of attention ever, so of course they're all stunning. You know, like that doesn't speak as like misogynistic to me, that speaks as him being just like a dumb teenager, and I like that depiction of him. I like how human all the characters are. I like how eccentric all the teachers are. I like how the teachers can be caricatures of themselves because of the way he depicts them. I like all of that. So yeah, I feel like there's not a ton that I can talk about in here besides the character stuff, because there's so many unanswered questions, and it's just kind of like, all I'd be saying is like, wow, that's crazy, the Chandrian stuff. Gonna happen there. I wonder when he's gonna become like the king killer, you know? Like, I don't know yet. It's the first book and it's meandering, so this is a gush. I'm talking about things, but also like I can't talk about much because I don't know enough. But I like that I don't know enough, and this is a fun book. So comment down below and let me know what you thought of The Name of the Wind. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!